Ever since I was a kid, side-scrolling platformers have always been one of my favorite genres of video games. Something about the simple act of running and jumping appeals to me, and I find the genre a ton of fun. Until recently, the side-scrolling platformer effectively died while the genre shifted into 3 dimensions in the mid-90s. So, on today's episode, we are going to take a look back at 5 great platformers for the Sega Genesis. And to make this a little more interesting, we're going to look past the Sonic the Hedgehog series. In 1990, Sega brought us one of the first great platformers for the struggling Genesis, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. The game succeeds on just about every level. First, the controls are excellent. Mickey's momentum is slow but predictable, as is his jumping. Your primary attack is the butt bounce, achieved by hitting down after jumping. As Mickey's jump is fairly optimistic, it's quite easy to bop enemies in quick succession. Your secondary weapon is a projectile, which is a nice attack for hard-to-reach enemies. Even better, the level design is perfectly suited for Mickey's pace and jumping, and there are few, if any, truly frustrating moments. Scenery changes frequently during each level, keeping things fresh. The bosses aren't overly difficult, featuring predictable patterns, yet still feel satisfying to defeat. On top of this are appealing graphics, with nice detail and good animations. It is certainly not pushing any hardware boundaries, but I'd say the game has aged rather well. Perhaps the best aspect of Castle of Illusion is the soundtrack. The music has bouncy, catchy melodies, using some extremely crisp instrument samples. Overall, there's an almost magical marching band vibe that is incredibly easy on the ears. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse is a no-brainer and belongs in every Sega Genesis collection. After the surprising success of the Genesis, Konami finally jumped on board with some AAA titles. One of their first efforts was Rocket Knight Adventures, released in 1993. Our main hero is Sparkster, an opossum sporting vintage goggles, a full suit of armor, and a jetpack. His main attack is his sword, which he can throw a short distance to take out the invading pigs. More important, however, is the rocket pack. Sparkster can charge it up and then rocket across the level. This lets him take out enemies, reach higher ledges, ricochet up corridors, and sometimes even fly. The controls are a bit loose, but the versatility of the rocket pack really makes up for any shortcomings. Rocket Knight Adventure's main claim to fame is all the graphical effects they were able to wring out of the aging hardware. First, most stages feature a ton of background layers, giving a wonderful sense of depth. Even on the opening sequence, different layers are used to make it appear Sparkster is rotating in a 3D space. There are pseudo-transparency effects, making it look like Sparkster is moving behind a waterfall. The list goes on and on. Finally, Rocket Knight Adventures features a huge amount of variety, with level sections barely getting started before completely changing. And as you would expect from Konami, the music is excellent, with a spastic-like quality to it that doesn't really sound like any other Genesis game I've ever played. It's fast-paced, the instruments are unique, and there is excellent stereo separation. Combine the awesome rocket mechanic, terrific variety, cool graphical effects, and a memorable soundtrack, and you have an awesome game. Around this time, European developer Virgin Games really started to make a name for itself. In 1994, they developed and published Disney's The Jungle Book. The game follows a much more traditional platforming path with few gimmicks to speak of. Instead, The Jungle Book succeeds by doing just a few things really well. Controlling Mowgli should feel immediately satisfying. His momentum is quick, he can jump rather high, and he can land on top of enemies. He also has projectiles, the main being the banana. Even better, you can shoot bananas straight up, which is somewhat uncommon for platformers. Where The Jungle Book really shines is the level design. You must collect a specific amount of gems hidden around the level. Upon completion, the game will then tell you to find a specific character to end the level. The fun comes from simply running around the jungle. Environments are logically laid out, with plenty of platforms, vines, and ropes to swing around. Most important, the collision detection is excellent, and you'll rarely miss a ledge, rope, or enemy due to shoddy programming. Graphically, The Jungle Book is a mixed bag. There is plenty of detail, and the game features a painting-like quality I rather enjoy, but at times, it doesn't feel like there's much color in the screen at all. Thankfully, Mowgli and the enemies are animated really well. Finally, the music is great. The melodies are incredibly catchy, featuring upbeat rhythms and a pleasing jungle vibe, while also incorporating the film's soundtrack. Even better are all of the sound effects. There are a ton of animal samples and they all sound crisp and clear, really adding to the overall feel of the game. Disney's The Jungle Book is often overlooked, but I assure you, this is a must-own. "1995 brought us Ristar, developed by Sega themselves before they shifted their focus to the Sega Saturn. Ristar is truly a classic, excelling in just about every way conceivable. Ristar controls fairly well with a moderate pace and average jumping abilities. However, the main gimmick is his arms. He can reach out to enemies and then bash them with his head. Even better, he can use his flexible arms to perform a variety of gymnastics throughout the levels. The levels are well thought out, forcing you to use Ristar's reaching abilities to progress. The level themes are awesome, taking you across a variety of planets with the typical platforming themes like jungle, water, fire, and ice. Being such a late release, Ristar also takes advantage of every trick in the Book of Genesis. The water effects are terrific, with the scenery getting darker the deeper you swim. There are hardware transparency effects, pushing the color limits of the Genesis. In addition to hardware gimmicks, the game is just beautiful overall, with a terrific use of color, great parallax scrolling, and detailed sprites. The music follows suit, and Ristar can easily go toe-to-toe with the excellent Sonic the Hedgehog games. The tracks feature plenty of layers, great progressions, effective stereo separation, and have a great dance club vibe that fits the game's high-energy aesthetic perfectly. Not only is Ristar a great platformer on the Genesis, it's one of the best games ever released on 16-bit hardware, period.
To infinity and beyond!
The final game on our list is Disney's Toy Story, released in 1996. Traveler's Tales developed this little gem, and it's been one of my favorites since I first played it. Toy Story succeeds at being an incredibly good-looking Genesis game. From the beginning of the first level, it's obvious this game is special. The character sprites are massive, detailed, and extremely well animated. As the original film was computer animated, the pre-rendered sprites actually make sense here and do a good job capturing the look and feel of the film. Things don't stop there. Toy Story uses more line-scrolling effects than any other game I've ever played. Again, the opening stage features a 3D-looking floor, and the tables and shelves actually have legs in the back of them that shift around to match the camera perspective. The game is simply gorgeous. Thankfully, the gameplay holds up as well. The traditional platforming levels are easily the best, with Woody completing some simple missions to complete the stage and progress the story. The controls are crisp, and despite Woody's massive size, it's never an issue thanks to thoughtful level design. Toy Story features a ton of other level styles as well, including auto-scrolling stages, overhead racing, and most impressively, the first-person level. The fact this runs in a fairly large window, with background music and a smooth frame rate, is absolutely astounding. Traveler's Tales did a truly commendable job creating a competent platformer, while at the same time pushing the limits of the Sega Genesis hardware. Add in a soundtrack faithful to the film, and you have a terrific game. So there you have it, 5 great platformers released on the Sega Genesis. Now, this is not a definitive list, nor is it intended to be a best of, so be sure to leave a comment and let me know which Genesis platformers you enjoy.